and I was a single parent of two, 9 years apart. It's a little crazy. It gets a little demanding. So leadership starts to be everything that you have to do on your own without knowing exactly what you're doing, and it's scary. But it's just like when you're in corporate. You don't know what team you're getting. You don't know who's coming to your cubicles, and because I'm not exactly sure how many people are leadership in this room and how many people are actually employees in the room, but both take on an important role. You're a leader of yourself when it's just you being the employee, and you're a leader of others and yourself when you are the boss, or I don't like that word because I believe in collaboration. So I was trying to think of something that is helpful when you're now in a corporate setting and you still have to follow other people's standards and guidelines, but you also are trying to make that pivotal move into claiming your team for yourself, or trying to make it home and trying to make it feel worth coming back to, and having and giving everybody value. You know what I mean? Like having that value for yourself and also making your employees feel like they're valuable. I learned that when I was doing home health, because when you are in the home by yourself, it's just you and the person. They trust you with everything. I mean, I'm / a personal assistant. I know their lifestyle. I know their hygiene. I know their finances. I know what they eat. I know where they go to sleep. I know what their dogs do. I know what their cats do. I know, you know so much when you are doing something just you and that person. In a corporation, I'm trying to associate the fact that family and leadership kind of go hand in hand. It's one of those things where you're always leading, but you're leading in a way that allows you to actually think about the value that you're bringing to yourself and to them. I had a little story that I wanted to share in reference to my daughter. Kathy mentioned our children, and all of them are black belts now. They don't want people to know that. My daughter goes, Mom, you ruined the surprise. You ruined the element of me knowing, making people not. And then she doesn't even do it. She doesn't even practice. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, I'm telling all her business. But when she first after she went to middle school, she was in middle school, and I don't know if do you know the IB program? Have you ever heard of the Immaculate Bachelorette, where you're studying for college at middle school level? And no, there's another IB for high school, where you go and you study for college, and it's in that program. So that's what she was actually accepted to both times. But she didn't want to go to a high school where she had to do college prep in theory. So she wanted to go to a technical school. So she went to a technical school. She also loves the fine arts. At middle school, they had theater, they had group, they had everything that she wanted, and she was excited about that. But the technical school, the problem with that was she wanted to do cosmetology, and she wanted to do learning how to do things in a step-by-step manner while you can work and actually go to school at the same time. But they didn't have drama. They didn't have theater. They didn't have arts. So she was like, okay, I'll try it. In tech school, they rotate to see if you really want what you want. So she went for cosmetology, but after rotation, she found out she was better at early childhood development. So she actually went for early childhood development. But the rotation was they had just instituted college prep. So she kind of got to mix it, but they still didn't have drama. So what was my suggestion as mom, as somebody that just always just took the leap and went from corporate to, why don't you start one? Be the change you want to see in the world, right? So I'm like, come on, you can start a drama club. And she was just like, I'll think about it. She thought about it. She thought about it. And she thought it away. You know how they do. They thought it away. She thought it away, and it didn't happen. She didn't do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I kept inspiring her to still want to do something. Lo and behold, fast forward, she's down at Georgia State University. She's actually taking film direction and cinematography, but she decided to use what I encouraged her as leadership in her own life. So instead of owning something and leading in a actual club for people at the school, she decided, okay, I'm gonna take hold and lead my own life. She works, she pays her own rent, she has her own apartment, and she's about to graduate in the fall. So that inspiration didn't work at that time, but she kept the idea, and she called me and she said, Mom, I wanna thank you. I was scared to do that at that time because I really didn't know what I was doing. I said, and I get that, but a lot of times what you're scared to do, there are other resources that can help you move to other levels without you really knowing what you have to do. And sometimes it's better for you not to know everything. You're not going to know everything, but trust and believe that with your faith, you can move into that whole other area that you would never have known had you just decided to take that step. But nonetheless, you took the step and now it's working for you in another way. So all is not lost. There's always something, even when something looks negative, there's always something that you can learn from it and you can get a positivity from it. So I was thinking, what can I say to you guys that would be the same factor? That would be that same idea. And because I am I'm an emotional resilience life coach. What does that mean? That means that though other people may think business is business and life is life, work-life balance is really important, especially now. Like I said in the beginning of this talk, I was a home health care provider, and it hurts me to see that people do not know how to give care at this point. And a lot of people are falling short of what they need because people are scared to step up to be that leader or step up to be that person, because it takes organization and it takes preparation and it takes a mindset of consistency. You don't know what you're doing. You don't always have to know everything of what you're doing. What you have to know is how to